Good morning and welcome to the studio here at European Utility Week. With me this morning I have Aurelio Blanquet, who is a director at EDP and is also the former chairman of the EE-ISAC. Aurelio, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate the time.
Thanks for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be with you.
So, can you perhaps explain what is an ISAC and why is it so important?
Well, mainly the ISAC is a trust community, industry focused, with a common purpose, which is the security of the industrial control systems. And the main aim of the ISAC is to allow that within this trusted community we can share sensitive information related with security. And when we talk about security, for sure you are not going to spread all over the world that you have a problem in the door in your house, but most surely you are going to share this vulnerability with one of your trusted friends and ask some advice, some help, or even help him to find something that he's looking for. So this is the main foundational points of an ISAC. Of course, when we look to a specific industry like energy, the ISAC increases the importance, since as an industry we are dealing with not a simple industrial control system, but with a critical industrial control systems, because electricity is most probably the most critical industry around the world. And so security is a prior concern and is a must.
I suppose also it helps working within an environment there where you can help establish if there's a trend or commonality between incidents that are occurring across utilities.
That's the main point, and the main, I would say, exempt condition to being part of an ISAC is the willingness to share what we know and mainly what we don't know, and to be humble enough to say, I don't know. Please help me if you can. And what we also can achieve within an ISAC is to find the right way to move forward, not to move faster, but to move how would I say
perhaps
in English?
Move forward together at an appropriate speed and more securely.
And not achieve fast, but achieve more than you will be able to achieve if you work alone. In this field, in this our complex world, you need to work together. It's not possible to still working on a standalone basis. No one will do that, and it will be the first step to a failure.
In Africa there's a proverb about alone I can only do so much, together I can do anything.
For sure. For sure.
Absolutely.
So it's the same. It's the same with the ISAC.
So there are people that have a perception that perhaps the utility industry isn't sufficiently prepared for the cybersecurity environment in which we now operate. What would you say to those people?
I would say that preparedness is a state of mind. We need to be prepared, and utilities always were prepared to have an effective response to external incidents from the early beginnings of the industry. When we talk about security, and namely about cybersecurity, we have the same mindset, and all the efforts that we are making are in order to assure that we can run the business on a safely way. The safety changes from the electrical safety or environment security to cybersecurity, but the concern and the sense of responsibility as a main actor in the economy and in society remains the same. So we are as prepared as we can. We are totally aware that when we talk about security, we are not talking about technology, we are not talking about processes, we are talking mainly about people that can put together processes and technologies on the right way to achieve the right level of security. And something we must be totally aware. To be 100% secure is not a possibility.
Yeah.
Which means that we need to be, and we are, as prepared as possible and prepared to react as fast and as effective as possible. So it's our drive.
I think within the security sector in particular, you are constantly having to adapt and evolve because the security concerns are changing so rapidly as well.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. I think generally the world is changing and is changing rapidly and more rapidly than ever. So when we talk about security, the pace of change is also quite rapid. The main challenge that we face is that we are a community and the external world is much bigger than ourselves.
That's true.
Which means that when we talk about security, we have an external world that we need to cope with, that it's much bigger than we are, is as talented as we are, is well founded as we are, is well organized, and it's the main challenge is to be aware and to be able to predict what can happen in the next couple of minutes. And when you are able to feel something, the first thing that you need to do besides react is to share that something is happening. Because if something is happening in your industry, in your company, most probably will happen in other companies of the same industry or even in other industries in your country. And by now what we can see is that most of the cyber attacks are industry focused, which means that are becoming more and more professional.
Yes.
Which means that from our side we need to be more and more effective when monitoring, when reacting, and even when restoring our systems. And this is I think the main change we faced in the last couple of years was the pace and the complexity and the sophistication
of the attacks.
Yeah.
So if I may ask, what would you say is the most important consideration for utilities that are embracing this new cyber world in which we are living?
That's a very good question. I would say don't deal with cybersecurity as a technological issue because it isn't. Technology is just a tool, it's just a way to help you. Think on cybersecurity in an holistic approach and share with the others what they are doing and how they can help you in achieve the best strategy, and put on the center of your concerns the human factor.
Yes.
And if we look to our strategy and look to our people and think that each one of us can make what we can name as the human firewall, we will be much more protected. So cybersecurity must be a main topic on the board agenda and not a technology issue for the techie people in our companies.
Yeah. Cybersecurity is not just for the computer geeks.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure it isn't.
Aurelio, thank you so much for your
It was a
time.
pleasure.
I really appreciate it. Coming to you from European Utility Week, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.